Bum 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 bum. A Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Let's do it again. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So today I finally got some sleep and I can really feel the difference. You guys remember last week when I was totally bummed out from no sleep. Yesterday I almost got in trouble at my job. What had happened was I'd gone to the parking lot of my, I teach at a community college. I'd gone into the parking lot and you guys know I used to live out of my car. And as I was walking into the campus, I saw this van and I thought, next time I have to live out of my vehicle, this is what I'm going to get. And I was curious about it. And I started looking around it and trying to imagine how I would sleep in there. And oh, that's pretty cool. And then I started walking toward the campus. And the campus security got very concerned. Somebody had called them and said that I was prowling into the cars. Now, here's the thing, I don't want to admit to campus security that I used to live out of my car. So I'm just like, that's a car that I'm curious of. And he misunderstood that there was something about that particular car. No, the make and model. And that's what happened when I'm sleep deprived. I mean, on a good day, I would know better than to snoop around somebody's car, right? I probably Google that car right at my own leisure. I was trying to keep my head up. I was very 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 tired, and that wasn't the only trouble I caused last week. I kept losing things. I almost lost some exams I was grading for class. I lost my camera multiple times, right? Because I love to go out to the park, to the shopping mall, go Peter dislike, and then I forget my camera. Fortunately, I kept finding it back, and then I would lose it again, and I'm like, this time I'm not going to be so lucky again. But then I found it, so it's all good. And today I was at the board game meetup, and the girl that I was thinking about is on vacation, but there's this other girl, a distant cousin of Carrie Underwood this time, and so I'll see what I can do with her. But more importantly, I need to find a pattern that allows me to get some sleep and still have a social life and get my job done. Right? That's a big problem. I have a hard time balancing the three. Usually, one has to fall by the wayside for some reason. But uh, yeah, first the park incident and the college campus. Yeah, that's what happens when I don't get enough sleep. I normally am very tuned to my surroundings. I certainly wouldn't shout Peter dislike show if I felt uncomfortable doing it, but I was trying to keep my head up, right? I normally would know better than to peer into somebody's car window, but like I said, sleep deprivation, trying to keep myself awake, a combination of that, and uh, caused a lot of trouble. And then I kept losing my stuff, and so I burned myself several times making bismuth and zinc, and but at the same time, I did some really good art. Sometimes it takes a little hallucination. I figured out the perfect pour for this. This is my signature pour, but I figured it out. You, so the mold looks like that, right? You need to put heavy bricks around it so it doesn't move. And I figured out just the right level. You want it to go like just at the point where there's a meniscus, right? And you don't want to scrape off the slag just yet. You want to wait for it to solidify, and then you sand off the slag. Right? I finally figured it out. I must have poured. Well, I still have 38 of them, but I probably poured 50, and I've sold quite a few of them. And I finally figured it out after 50 pours, if you can believe it. But that's what happens when I'm sleep deprived. All my creativity and my dark side comes out, right? So it's a trade off, right? It's probably not a good idea to be sleep deprived when you're just starting a job, but that's how it turned out. But sleep deprivation is like a drug with side effects, right? You get the creativity out of you, but then you get yourself in trouble for looking into somebody's car or for shouting an obscenity at the park or whatever the situation is. It really is a trade off. I'll have to think about how I go about the next time I want to get high on sleep deprivation. Um, to some degree, the intermittent fasting also feels kind of like a drug like that. What's the longest you've stayed up? My longest, I believe, was 80 some hours. I was working on a backgammon AI, but this was during lockdown when I really didn't have to interact with people and get myself in trouble. I don't think I'll do that again. Um, anyway, I had a good run of sleep deprivation and figuring this stuff out. And I'll have to think of. I really liked how the sleep deprivation opened up the creativity portal, but the side effects are killing me. I'll have to think about how to get the pluses without the minuses, right? All right. Next week I'll make a move on this distant cousin of Carrie Underwood. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Let's do it again. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.